Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. The problem that we are going to solve today is minimum increment to make array unique. The problem says you are given an integer array nums. In one move, you can pick an index I where I lies between 0 to nums.length and increment nums of I by 1. Return the minimum number of moves to make every value in nums unique. So basically the idea here is that in our array, that is nums, no two elements should appear that are same. All the elements in the array should be unique. Like for example, in example 1, nums is equal to 1, 2, 2. Here 2 is appearing 2 times, but we don't want. So we can increment any of the 2 by 1 and our new array will become 1, 2 and 3. Since we just made a one move to increment 2 to 3, so the answer that we are returning here is 1. Now let's see example number 2, which is nums is equal to 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 7. So to approach the problem, what we will do is, we'll firstly sort our nums. We will sort nums and then nums becomes 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 7. We need to find out the minimum number of increments that we need so that we can make all the elements unique in this array. Okay, now we run a loop from index first to the last index. Let's say for int I is equal to 1 to I less than n, that is the size of nums I plus plus. Now what we will do is, our current element is 1, that is nums of 1. Previous element is also 1, that is nums of 0. Okay. Since current is equal to previous, let's say we have one minimum increment is equal to 0. Since current is equal previous, so what we will do is we'll increment current by 1 and our current, which is nums of 0, is now equal to 2, and the moves that we required is 1, as 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, so our minimum increment becomes 1, and now the nums becomes like, it is 1, 2, 2, 2, 3 and 7. Now currently now that moving on further, I becomes 2. We see that current element is equal to the previous element. So we'll increment it by 1 and it becomes 3. New array be like 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 7. And we'll increment it by 1, so it becomes 2. Now I is equal to 3. So for this case, now we are at this index. Now our current element is 2 and previous element is 3. Let me write it. Cur is equal to 2 and previous is equal to 3. Since current element is less than previous, So what we will do is we'll make our current element is equal to previous element plus 1. At the same time, we'll increment it like that minimum increment becomes, we'll take the previous element which was greater than current, so previous minus cur, and we'll be adding 1 to it so that at the end it gets incremented by 1. So our updated array becomes, let me write minimum inc, it becomes 2 plus previous was 3, current was 2 and plus 1, which is equal to 4. And the updated array is 1 2 3 4 3 7. Now again we are at this index. Current element is 3 and previous element is 4. Again current is less than previous, so we'll increment it by 1, and minimum increment becomes minimum increment which was 4 plus previous 4 minus current and then plus 1 for incrementing it. And the overall value becomes 6, and our array is equal to 1 2 3 4 5, 7. Now we are at the last index and the value is 7. Now current is equal to 7 and previous is equal to 5. Since current is already greater than previous, do nothing and simply return minimum increment value, which is 6 in this case. Let's quickly check out our answer. Okay, so here the output was 6. Now let me quickly code it for you, starting from C++. We'll sort our arrays using sort nums.begin, comma nums.end. We have int minimum increment is equal to 0 initially, and we initialize a loop from 1 to the size of the nums, that is nums.size, then I++. So what we will do is, if our nums of I is less than equal to nums of I minus 1, say minimum inc plus equal to current element would be decremented from the previous element. So here previous number is nums of I minus 1 and our current element is nums of I and then plus 1, and we'll update the current element also. So we'll say nums of I is equal to nums of I minus 1 plus 1 and return minimum inc. Let me quickly run it. Okay, it works, and submit. Okay, all good. So let me quickly move it to Java. So to sort integer array in Java, we use arrays.sort and pass the name of the array. And to get the size of the integer array, we write nums.length, and the rest of the thing will remain same. It is working fine. Now for C#, To sort array, we use array dot sort. S for sort remains capital. And to find the size of the integer array, we write it as nums dot length, where L is in capitalized format and rest of the thing remains same. And submit. Okay, so for Python, let me quickly write it. What we will do is we'll sort our nums by writing nums dot sort. Initially, minimum increment is equal to 0. Then for I in range 1 to length of nums, and then we will compare if nums of I is less than equal to nums of I minus 1. Then minimum increment becomes minimum increment plus the previous value, that is nums of I minus 1, minus current value, which is nums of I, and plus 1. And we'll update the last element, that is nums of I becomes nums of I minus 1 plus 1. And then we return minimum increment value. And let me quickly submit it. Okay, so that was all for today. Thank you for watching this video.